Okay, let's wrap this problem up. So I just changed these colors to represent the resultant vector. So we want to figure out the resultant vector, magnitude and direction, and we do that by calculating r sub x and r sub y. Okay, so r sub x is just a sub x plus b sub x. Now, a sub x, there we go, a sub x was the negative 30.7 number. And then I'm going to add that to my b sub x, which was also negative 37. So my r sub x is a negative 68.0643 grams. And this is a good reflection of what we saw in our picture. Look at the x. So a reminder, this represents 90, so that's a little bit less than that 90. And then we look at the x component of our resultant here, and it's in the negative x direction. Now we're going to anticipate that our y is going to be much smaller. So let's see if that happens. And it's also going to be hopefully in the negative y, because that's what we saw in the image. So r, let's see if this helps maybe a little bit. R sub y is going to be a sub y plus b sub y. So r sub y will be, a sub y was the negative 84 value plus b sub y, which is the positive 53. So overall we have a negative 31.3275 grams. And again, I think that's a good reflection of what we see here in our image. This r value has an r sub y, which is negative and much smaller than our r sub x value. Okay. Right angle there. Now, I know r sub x and I know r sub y, and I have a right triangle. Just focus on the green triangle right now. So I can do a squared plus b squared equals c squared, or r sub y squared plus r sub x squared equals r squared, Pythagorean theorem. But I don't want to solve for r squared, I want to solve for r. R will equal the square root of r sub x squared plus r sub y squared. So the magnitude of r will be the square root. Now these are magnitudes, not directions. So even though they both have negatives, and I could keep it if I was careful with my parentheses, I don't have to. So I'm going to take r sub x, which is that 68 value, squared, plus r sub y, squared, close my parentheses, and I get a final answer of 74.9, etc. 2 sig figs, 2 sig figs, 2 sig figs, 2 sig figs. So I will round that to 75 grams. There's the magnitude of my resultant. But it's a vector, so I need the direction component as well. I need to solve for this angle. I need to say what theta is. I know this and I know that, right? I just solved for my hypotenuse as well, but let's use these two values. Tangent would be opposite over adjacent, right? Or tangent of that theta would be opposite which is r sub y over r sub x. But I don't want to know r sub y over r sub x. I want to know theta. And theta is equal to the tan inverse of that fraction, r sub y over r sub x. And again, these are magnitudes, not directions, so I'm not going to take the negatives with me. R sub y was the 31 magnitude divided by my r sub x, which was the 68. And so my angle, 2 sig figs, so 25 degrees. My resultant of these two vectors has a magnitude of 75 grams and has a degree of 25 below the negative x-axis, or positive 25 degrees from the negative x-axis. And my picture is a good it reflects that really well, where this magnitude is a comparable 75, and then that's a reasonable 25 degrees. And then you're done. There's your final answer, and we put a box around them. Okay, I'm going to do a couple more practice problems on our last proficiency target on how to use these equations in word problems. So if you would like, you can continue on to the next video, and I will work on a few of those types of problems.